You like Fox bodies, hopefully that's why you're here on my channel, but sometimes we need a distraction. We have real life problems, and what better distraction than an 85 4EYE T-Top. And oh yeah, guys, it's got a Windsor. Hello and welcome to Gearhead 704. I'm Matt, and guys, we are still at Foxtoberfest, and I still have not got enough money to buy sunglasses. Just kidding about that, but yeah, I do need them today. Yeah, we were talking about this 85 4EYE, and I'm gonna go ahead through the magic of YouTube and bring the owner, Tom, in. All right, Tom, welcome to the channel.
Hey, glad to be here.
Yeah, we got magically transported you here. It's amazing how that works.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is your baby, I guess now, right?
It is, yeah, it's my therapy.
And I like that, right? Because you had went through some tough life situations.
Sure, absolutely.
You said, though, you were already a FoxBody guy, right?
Oh, absolutely. This is probably my 15th, 16th FoxBody that I've had. I've had a FoxBody from 79 right through 93. I've kind of tried to check the box on all the FoxBodies.
Were you more aero guy or 4EYE guy? I'm guessing 4EYE based on this
4EYE, just because it's different. You know, I'm a kind of different kind of guy, and there's a lot of just transitional times with a 4EYE that I appreciate.
I think they're kind of making a comeback a little bit.
Absolutely. Look for a coupe. Really couldn't find a 4EYE coupe because they're they're diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
So I found this one up north.
Yeah, because you got a T-Top, right?
Yep, T-Top.
And it came from up north. That's a little scary, you know, right?
The car was in Maine, but it was originally from North South Carolina. So
okay, so down in this area where we're at.
Solid car, and I thought it was a great canvas for me to start with. It's bone stock when I bought it. Had pony wheels on it. That's about the only.
Oh, now that's a big mod. No, I'm just kidding.
Upgrade, you know, 16s, but it had been painted once. For the most part, I did all the mods to it. 5-lug swap, 351 Windsor I had to do just because I wanted to be
He's
different.
already giving out the goodies. We're gonna make him hold off, Tom. With that, now that's cool because you're a paint and body guy. And guys, actually, you know what? Before we get into the paint and body, he is a paint and body guy. He did not paint this, but he kind of fixed it up. So let me give you a quick walk around, a little cinematic. Take a look at the car. Be right back. No, I actually think it doesn't look too bad. Now, you do eventually want to paint it, you were saying, right?
Yes, yep. I'd like to strip it right down. Black is got to be perfect, so I'm kind of very meticulous on my stuff, so it's got to be straight. There's a little...
This is respectable, though, honestly.
It is. It's a great driver. I drive it on all the nice days up at North, which is about 6 days a year.
A whole 6? Yeah, that's about right.
Right. I tell you what, whenever I get in this car, it's my serenity. It's my therapy, and that's why I got the plate on it, because
that's so let's look at that real quick.
That's the way I feel when I'm in these cars.
5.0 therapy.
That's right.
That's the perfect.
You know,
I like calling them a 5.0 too, right? Because that's what we used to call them and call them FoxBody.
Right.
You're around, right? 5.0.
5.0. Yeah. You know, I mean, vanilla ice, drop top 5.0.
Rolling them a 5.0.
That's right. So you know, it's iconic. I thought about getting rid of the 5.0 badges, but I'm like, well, it's a 5.0. I got to keep the aesthetics of the car. Yeah. So
it's kind of a sleeper a little bit.
It is a little bit.
I mean, maybe the wheels and tires give it away, because you got some big boys here. I
tell you, it was a struggle to find the right wheel and tire combo for this car, just because I went through a couple of sets. The last set before this, it was like, I liked them, but they just didn't fit the car. It's like having an outfit and having the right shoes with your outfit.
The wheels make the car a lot of times. They really do. What are we looking at, actually? I know we get front and back.
Yep. So we got 18x9s in the front, 18x10s in the rear, 265/35 18s in the front. Wow. And I get the 285/35s in the rear.
Now, you didn't have to get that fitment. Did you have the right offset? You didn't have to tub anything, right?
I actually rolled the quarters.
Which you're going to have to, I would imagine.
Yeah. Especially if you get any kind of, you know, cargo in the car, you get a little bit of suspension squat. Doesn't rub anywhere.
No quad shocks, right?
I do have the quad shocks.
You still have the quad shocks?
Yep,
there you go. You flipped them? Okay,
so I'm trying to maintain the FoxBody the theme. You know, they came with quad shocks. Try to keep the quad shocks.
You were telling me with the rear end,
Yep.
it's not the 8.8 from like another Fox, right?
These come naturally with a 7.5. I knew I was eventually going to upgrade the engine, so I wanted discs in the rear, so I got a SN95 rear end out of the GT. At that point, it had the SN95 length axles.
Okay. Was it 96 to 04? Or you
It
got,
was
or
a
is it
95.
95, okay, all
yeah,
right.
so 94, 95. This was a 95 rear end, which was prior to the ABS. So
Right.
3/4 of an inch longer than a Fox body on each side. So when I got these wheels, I found out that the SN95 axles were too wide. So I ended up having to go to the Fox length axles.
It looks good though, yeah.
It's perfect.
It looks factory almost,
yep.
other than how big that tire is.
It's the largest tire I could fit in there and not have any worry issues of rubbing.
Yeah, because you said you want to drive it.
Yeah,
looks good.
I enjoy it. I mean, that's why I built this. You know, a lot of guys built it to show it. I built it to drive it, to enjoy it.
They're meant to be driven.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not a trailer queen, although this year it was. Last year it wasn't.
Yeah, how far did you drive? Because you said last year you drove it.
Yeah, last year I drove it with the 302 4-barrel. I drove it 972 miles from Maine to Foxtoberfest.
Almost 1,000 miles, no joke.
Yep, 1,000 miles, didn't have a lick of issues, got 20 something miles a gallon to it. It was great. I tell people it was the best 970 miles I put on anything.
I bet.
It was a blast. This year with the engine swap, I didn't want to tempt fate, so I trailered it down.
All right, well, don't worry, guys. We're going to show you that engine in just a second. But first off, let's also talk about suspension-wise, because you're sitting at a good height here. What are we looking at?
I used iBox Sportline springs, front and rear. It's got the 95 SN95 spindles, Cobra 13-inch brake combo.
Yeah, that caliper looks really good.
Yep. Yeah,
well.
I got those calipers. I had to refinish them. Got them powder coated. I've got the bump steer kit, brand new rack. Everything in the front end's brand new. Ball joints, wheel bearings, everything's new. So I did all the conversion myself. Of course, having T-tops, everybody knows it's got to be stiffened. So I did the Steeda full length welded subframe connectors, so it was nice and rigid. So
you put those in yourself as well?
I did.
Yeah, I think guys, he told me off camera, but how much of this work have you done?
I have done everything on this car myself.
That is the best part.
You know, in a lot of the stuff that I've done on this car, I've gotten from ideas from Foxtoberfest, on YouTube, everything. So my inspiration, you know, not only has been there for years, but it comes from other builds as well. So
that's
I'm hoping I inspire other people to build their car the way they want.
Well, trust me, you will. The thing is, can I get your story out there? So guys, if it doesn't have a lot of views, it's my fault, not your fault of the cars.
Right.
I guess that covers all the suspension stuff underneath. The K-member is still the stock K-member?
Yeah,
or?
Still the stock K-member. I didn't upgrade till I wanted to make sure I was going with the engine transmission combo that I have. So this winter, everything will be coming back out. Grade clutch, transmission, and K-member.
Okay. Well, guys, let's go ahead. We're going to pop the hood, show you the goodies. We know you want to see that. Actually, you saw a little bit of it in the time lapse, but now we're going to talk about it. I do like the carbon fiber as well. I'll mention that. And you're going to have a surprise for next year.
Yes, it's going to be a surprise, so we'll let that we'll let that be.
They're going to have to stay tuned to the channel.
I may drive it down next year.
Okay, so, that'll be awesome. This is obviously not a 302. We already said it's a Windsor.
Yep.
You can see it sits a lot higher, but I thought it was carbureted. I don't know. Tell us a little bit about the engine here.
With it being an 85, I wanted to stick, like I said, with the theme of the car. 85's last year of the carburetor. Before 86, they went to fuel injected. So when I did the swap, I wanted to make sure that I kept the aesthetics of the car. Pop the hood, hey, it's got a carburetor in it. It is not carbureted, it is fuel injected. It's got the Holley Sniper EFI. Under that air bonnet is a throttle body that looks like a carburetor, but it's an actual throttle body.
Yeah.
Yep.
I noticed because we rode over here, guys, and it's fired right up.
Fired right up.
Yeah, you didn't have to hit the gas at all.
Relatively new install, so I'm still working out the bugs with the programming. All in all, great power, great reliability, and it gives the look like it's still a carburetor.
Yeah. And it's not just a 351, right? What is this actually?
It's a stroke 351 to a 427 cubic inch.
427.
427.
Yeah. Is that about how far do you want to go on those? Is that typically getting close?
The edge.
I thought so.
A little bit higher, you start getting into the ring glands, and you start using a little bit of oil. Which this motor was built. I did not build this motor, but I ended up picking this motor up for what I would have had in my stroker build.
Yeah, because you were going to do a 331, right?
I was going to do a 331, but I found this, and this was the route I went, which You know, it starts off with, oh, that's an easy swap, and then you have to headers and oil pan. And
yeah, what were the big, that's actually a good question. What were your big issues that you had on the 351 swap?
Obviously, it's a Windsor, just like the 302, but it's a taller deck, so it means it's taller and wider, which means that the headers are in a different position. Yep. So when I took the 302 out, I had BBK shorties in it into a Bassani X-pipe. Bassani X-pipe was a stainless X-pipe. I got it for, you know, it's a pretty big coin for a Bassani, so I didn't want to get rid of that, so I ended up going with the 351 Windsor swap shorties by BBK.
So these are shorties, actually.
Yep, they're shorties.
Because they look huge, but yeah, no, I can see that now, but they're still big.
They are, yep. They flow good. I got the ceramic coated because I didn't want them to rust up. The struggle for me with this install was the accessory brackets. 351 Windsor accessory brackets are different than the 302 just because of the deck height. So the power steering bracket was a pretty standard bracket. It took me a couple of accessory brackets for the alternator to get the right one to fit it. Okay. But everything else basically was the same from the 302 to the 351, other than cutting a hole in the hood. Right,
right. Yeah, because you can do drop motor mounts, I guess, or something like that, but then you got to worry about underneath clearance.
Yeah, and I didn't want to run into K-member to oil pan clearance issues. Yeah. So I went with a factory set of convertible motor mounts. So they were a little stiffer, but they're factory height. So I elected to go to the hole in the hood.
Okay. Yeah, that came out pretty good, actually.
It was a pristine hood. Flat, no rust.
Oh, man.
No dings. So in order for me to make the hole in the hood, I drilled a hole in the center of it, and that was like, it was sacrilegious to me at that point to cut a hole in a mint hood. So I cut the hole, I cut the 17-inch diameter hole in the hood, and I threw it on my desk in the garage, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? So if you ever show up at my garage in Maine, that hole that is now there, the piece from that hood is now a clock on my wall.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you have a picture of that?
I don't on me, but
I was saying, can you send me? Yeah,
absolutely.
No worries, I'll edit it and just throw it in. So if I get the picture, bloop.
There it is.
Cool. So yeah, I got to see that clock in person one day. So maybe next year you should bring it, display it.
I'll bring it down with me, just because, you know, I couldn't throw a piece of nostalgia away. You know, I cut a hole in the hood, but I made the best of it. Okay. Well, we're glad you saved it. Yeah, so, absolutely.
As far as heads, intake, cam, what are we looking at?
It's basically a budget build. Got professional products cylinder heads on it, so they're 202, 160. They're very, very budget-friendly heads. Professional products intake. I've got 1.6 trick flow roller rockers. Flat tappet cam. It's really...
That's a flat tappet. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep. For 85, they hadn't gone to hydraulic roll yet.
So. They haven't. So this winter I may end up upgrading the heads and put a roller conversion cam in it.
The 351 Windsors also end up going to roller cam at some point. I assume they did.
This is an actual 69 block. So the 69 didn't have the roller rockers, roller lifters. I think in 85, 86, 351 Windsors ended up going with a roller cam.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, that truck right there probably has a...
Right.
It could be, right? It's a 69.
You never know.
Cool. Well, budget build.
Not high dollar. It's fun. The smile by the mile is right up there.
Smiles per gallon.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's actually, guys, show you the interior real quick, a little closer. Like you said, Holley Sniper EFI.
Yep, Holley Sniper EFI. So unfortunately, it's not like a manufactured car. You just get in, twist the key, and fire it up. You do have to let the Sniper build and load its programming to it.
Is it learn, basically?
It's constantly learning. Right now, it's at 168 degrees of coolant temp. It's learning, as you see here in the learn status, RPMs, air-fuel ratio, and battery voltage. Everything is displayed right here on this little handheld. I did convert all of the gauges to electronic autometer Pro Comp gauges, so everything in the gauges are electronic and hooked up the way they should.
They look great though, because they're the white face, and even though they're electronic, I like, you know, it's more of an old school look.
Yep, my goal in this build was to keep everything aesthetically like it would be from the factory. I didn't want to put a tack hanging off the dash. I didn't want to have gauges down here in the center console. I wanted to keep everything like it looked in the 85. Yeah. With the exception, obviously, of the Sniper display.
Yeah, I mean, this is classic. You got to keep that, you know?
And this is constantly on now since I've upgraded the gauges to electronic, so it just is a reminder that as much fun as you have, you got to keep an eye on the gas gauge.
Yeah, there you go. Constantly, it's low fuel.
Yeah.
We did not talk about this yet. So what are you looking at trans-wise?
So got the factory T5 in it for right now. The clutch is my fail-safe. T5s tend to be a little problematic.
Yeah, my grenade.
When you put horsepower to them. So this is factory T5 Pro 5.0 shifter with the stubby shifter handle with the bullets shift knob.
Yeah.
Everything else is the way it came from the factory.
Well, it looks really nice. Did you have to recover the seats or anything?
Yeah.
Well, they're still in good shape then.
Yeah.
I love the Halo headrest, man.
That's you know, and that's 85, 86.
Yeah.
That's where it's gonna have them.
Yep.
You know, and I like the pinstripe. I like the two-tone the subtleness of the
great.
85 interior.
And we can do this.
There you go.
This won't come out good video, but I'll have to cut that because that'll probably get people throwing up and stuff, make them sick.
Vertigo.
Awesome. Well, I might let's get a couple exhaust notes real quick since we're revving. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot. How much horsepower you think it's making?
At the crank, we're probably right around 515.
Just a little 500.
Yeah, you know, 500.
In a FoxBody. I can smell that fuel. You hit me with water. What are you doing? No, that is awesome. That is awesome. All right, Tom, love the car. Great job with it.
I enjoyed the time. I really did.
And we can't wait to see what he does with next year. So you got to find out. You got to come to Foxtoberfest. He already let me in a little secret. I'm not going to give it away, but maybe.
It'd be a little different than next year.
Yeah, and you got to drive it down if you can.
My object is to get the bugs worked out of it and drive it down next year.
Yeah, and you're not, I forgot to ask you one last thing. Drive line. Do you plan on changing anything with the engine?
Transmission.
Trans for sure, I'm sure.
Yeah, transmission, clutch, and probably end up going with a Ford Motorsports aluminum drive shaft.
It's a great upgrade.
Yeah, you know, other than that, I like where the engine's at. So for the most part, it'll stay. Probably upgrade a tubular K-member and some coilovers, but for the most part, everything's going to stay the same.
Just a raw, naturally aspirated 500 horsepower and a 3,000-pound FoxBody.
Yep, absolutely.
The rear end gears, I forgot to ask that part.
323s.
Oh, 323s.
Yep.
So great for the highway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And like I said, last year I got over 20 miles a gallon with the 302.
You did.
Not getting that now with the 351 stroke.
No, not quite.
No,
not quite. Maybe
we
12.
are in the double digits.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Maybe 12. Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks again, man, for sharing it with the channel.
Thank you, man.
And thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, because if you did, please hit the like button for me. I've got a lot more content coming for you. Please subscribe, and we'll see you here next time on Gearhead 704.
Absolutely.
And there's another distraction behind us. Come on through. Maybe I didn't pick the best spot. FoxBody, definitely not. Definitely not. We might have to. We might. Well, this is funny. Oh, there goes the car.
Thank you.
These are the behind-the-scenes hazards of YouTube filming. Oh, the cars make. I mean, the cars. The cars make the cars. That doesn't make any sense. Let's try it again. Bloopers. Bloopers. I'm just gonna put all the cars coming by. You know, bloopers.
Yeah.
There you go. You're on YouTube right now. You're in the blooper section. Here we got a diesel.
Yeah.
I will never choose this location again to film.